I want to be very informal to start by thanking all of you for being here this morning. And to start from a perspective of the fact that I am the fullback for CBC, wearing jersey number 5. So don't expect me to be pleasant with somebody who is coming to attack. And yet His Excellency the President is the one in the goal. So once we understand that one, I'm also very glad that I have a team of very competent officers. If you look at them, at the very top of the policy-making body, from the ministry and the sagas, you have 4 professors and 2 doctors, all of them teachers. So you must, whether you like it or not, commend His Excellency the President for having done his best in selecting the people who know what they are doing. And if you want to confirm this, since you are also very intelligent, go to the platform which is called Google Scholar Citation and confirm for yourself whether any of us are fake professors or fake doctors. In fact, if I add Dr. Ntamburi, then we are now about 7. And if you go to the Deputy Vice Chancellor at a public university, Mudeo Kasanga, then the rest is history. We know for sure as a government that nothing is perfect. We also know for sure that CBC is not perfect. But we also know for sure that it left the station in 2018, even before I was appointed, through His Excellency's wisdom, to be Cabinet Secretary. It has left that station, it is moving forward. And by the grace of God, I'm the one sitting on that horse whom you have said I'm sitting and looking back. Which is all right. That I'm sitting and the horse is looking this side and I'm looking back. Now that is satirical, but it is in your own imagination. And do not be surprised if we come out very strongly telling you that there are certain facts which have been deliberately ignored by both the so-called specialists and the most learned members of the press. You ignore because you have refused to check. Most of the facts are available. For example, on the small matter of the digital learning program, you are aware, and it is on the website, if you care to look, that in every county, in the public schools, the devices are there to be used by children and to be used by teachers. And on the issue of connectivity, the government of His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is very active in ensuring that every part of this county is covered. Not to mention that we have also other collaborators like UNICEF who have gone ahead and ensured that the areas of this country who may be lacking internet are being facilitated. So when you start saying, oh, we all know that technology is there for the future, to portray government as if it is doing nothing, ladies and gentlemen, is being unfair. It's being unfair, and don't demonize me for saying so, because the facts are there. That was the first point. The second point is a very simple one. Ladies and gentlemen, you are talking about quality assurance. In my life, and I think I have taught for quite a number of years, the people I taught are now professors. So that can tell you how many years you think I've taught. From undergraduates, they are now professors. So when I got into this docket, I was thrown into the abyss because I had now to deal with small kids. And since I don't trust anybody, I started going to primary schools. And I think in my assessment, I've been to close to 500 primary schools across the nation. I have personally interacted. I don't say where I am going. Occasionally, you snoop around and follow me. I have never found a classroom, I have never found a CBC classroom not being attended to by a competent teacher. So what the hell are you people talking about? Who has stopped you from going there? I have never met a child, whether it is in Matu, whether it is in Kwale, where I have been several times, and that chap who was talking about Kwale does not know what he's talking about. I keep saying that Governor Mvurya is one of the best governors in this country, and the reason is this. I found that the ECD preparation in Kwale is top. I have visited many of them. I have visited many primary schools in Kwale, and the teachers there are excellent, and they are teaching. I don't need to be told by anybody. If you have information to the contrary, let us have it. Don't say, oh, you know, the teachers are not prepared. Which teachers are not prepared? You have now just been told by the experts that 229,000 of them have been trained, and I want to say that is true. Because me, I don't believe on reports, even reports from my quality assurance officers. I sample, and I want to salute our teachers and to thank the Teacher Service Commission through Dr. Nancy Macharia and the chair of the Teacher Service Commission for the dedication our teachers have had for the CBC program. You go and look at the children from Mombasa to Kilifi to Siaya to Busia. The children are happy. And I'm mutually attracted to the poor children. I don't go to the children of the vice president because I know the vice president can afford to do anything she wants. So I go to the slums in the Kibiras of this world, in Kiandutu. How are the children being handled in CBC? Are they happy? Now, if they are happy and we have a children's right, ladies and gentlemen, are we right to say that you want to go to court when you already have 5 million children happy to engage? They enjoy what they are doing. It is true that there are challenges. Why don't you bring those challenges in a manner that we can accept that you are not doing it for other issues? Why? Because if you come to me and you are 90% of what you are saying is incorrect, even the 10% you are saying that is correct, do you think I will listen to it? I will not listen, because then I will be asking, what is wrong with you? And we have no apologies to make to anybody. This competency-based curriculum is here to stay. In my life, it is the most transformative thing I have seen. It is the most transformative thing I have seen. I used to be worried that our teachers will compromise it. Dr. David Njegere has just shown you that even the teachers love it. Because in the many classrooms that I have been, even if I sit in a classroom for just half an hour, I'm able to see which child is more active than the other, putting his hand 10 times, although he will only be called once, another one will be able to put once. You cannot push those children down, even if you are wicked. And the system is there. Why do you want to ask, how are you going to select? What the hell are you talking about? It is already there. It is already there. So if you have the top 10%, it will come naturally. And you take them without prejudice, not with the 844 where people used to pay money in briefcases. And then when they come to the university to do medicine, after the first term, they all disappear. After 5 years, from 500, you graduate 200. Where did the 300 go? I am not the type of person that you can persuade or ask to lobby. As I go to be with my ancestors, when the time comes, how I wish that our people will be reasonable to allow the competency-based curriculum, to allow my seeds to be able to be trained to do something. Because every job is important. You have been talking about universities. What about the technical sector? We are going to identify people who are experts in the technical sector and train them in the pathway. We are going to identify the musicians so they can be trained in their own pathway and they will be respected. You don't have to, to go and become something else because you can't pass mathematics. Who has told you you need maths to be a musician? So before you say that we should stop this and rethink, give us your facts. And you don't have any. We are happy that you have mentioned today, when I listen very carefully, you have certain points which get clouded when you go to television. And here I'm not sparing the media. And you will forgive me for not sparing you. Because somebody says something that is obviously incorrect. And your anchor person does not point it out to him. And the narrative continues to go. So you ask, well, what the hell is going on here? For example, when you say, oh, we have not trained teachers. Who in Kenya does not know that we have trained teachers? I was trained as a surgeon, a general surgeon. Now, when you have already trained a general surgeon who does all the things about the rest of the body, if you want to go and train him to just do the P, you don't have to go and start training him again for all the 10 years. Then you end up with, you just tweak him to do the P, the area of the P. Do you understand? I believe it is the same for teachers. Why are we making things so difficult? What do people want to do when they demonize one of the most important things that is going to be the presidential legacy project? If it is politics, excuse me, I don't do it and leave me out of it. But I want to assure the nation and the parents that as far as we are concerned, we are going to do everything possible to ensure that CBC is a success. In terms of costs, for the uptenth time, I was in London with His Excellency the President when they were raising money for children, and I was actually shocked. Somebody attempted to say it here, but she didn't say it correctly. Let me say it in a traditional manner. We are looking at the African countries and how much they give education. Kenya was way at the top at 25.9%. 25.9%. The others were as down as 14%. So when you hear all the so-called experts who have trained everywhere saying, you know, you must fund, what is it that they are talking about? What is it? What they should be asking is to challenge us to ensure that we get value for our money. But as far as the government is concerned, the government is already at the top, and you know that for sure, of the budget. There's no other African country. If you like, go and do the research yourselves. I think the South Africans are way behind at 22 or 23%. So when you open your mouth and shout on television, which is seen everywhere in the world, don't look like you didn't go to school. No, it is true. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just saying the truth here. And so if we are to move in the same direction, why is CBC expensive? First of all, it is unfair for you to ask us to say, no, you tell us how much it will cost to implement CBC. That is for people who did not go to school. You should be asking yourself, how much money is government giving per child this time, and is the government giving it? That is point number one. Over and above that, how much money is the government spending on books? Are there books which are recommended, which are provided by government? Are they provided on a ratio of 1:1? The answer is yes. If you want, wewe unaona wewe ni mnono kama mimi, you want to add another 10 books because you chose to take your child to my sister Kasanga's school, which is for elitists, you have to pay. Then she tells you, no, even though this is a set book, but you can buy this other 10. That one is not my business. My business is to ensure that the registered public schools, where the majority of the children are, have textbooks. And you should be asking, you should be telling me, oh, in this school, we have found out there are no textbooks. I would listen to you. Now, I am going to accept that on the issue of digital literacy, there could be a problem. And I'm going to direct here because I am a CS, and with the CS I have certain powers. That from today, the good teachers that are working in public primary schools, if there's anything to be printed, it should be actually not printed, it can be projected in the school. Because every school has a means of projecting. I don't think if my shepherd in the bush in Siaya has 3 smartphones, you will excuse me if you say that there's a primary school without anybody with a smartphone. If there's something that has to be printed and the set is not working, it will be cheaper for the teacher to capture it and project. Printing should be optional for those who can afford. But otherwise, you have been told that you work with what is around you. You work with what is around you. And those who are saying that they will stop this, they are daydreamers. It is not, we are not going to stop. So let us agree that we accept your advice to improve. Now, nothing is going to stop Mudeu and the private schools, and even some in public schools, from going overboard. Let it be their choice. Schools have never been the same. When I was about to sit for common entrance examination in 1963, are we together? I was in a place called Gina Primary School. I saw the resources we had there. So when I came to Standard 5 in Nairobi at Dr. David Livingstone, it was like I was in heaven. That is not going to change. Stop pretending. Just make sure that, and I passed from that bush. So my job is to ensure that a child in the remotest part of this country is not disadvantaged. We are providing teachers and we are paying them. We are going to continue to provide what is required. Stop distracting the parents. Stop confusing the 5 million children who are already hooked on the CBC, that you are going to stop it through a court process. The trauma is too much, and it is not necessary. If it is politics, it is not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So let us take your criticisms that are reasonable, and we will act. But when you see us coming out with blazing guns, it means you really have not done your research. You have just gone and opened your mouth somewhere without checking. The facts are there. Finally, parents. I want to end by talking about parental engagement. By the grace of God, God gave me a son. I was already a surgeon by then. And surgeons make a lot of money. I had to make a choice. Do I spend time with my son during the week at the extent of going to my clinic to ensure that at least I engage him? That was my choice. CBC is telling every parent to make that choice. It should be a pleasure. And when I go back many years to my mother, she never went to school. She went to standard what? Standard 3. She engaged me. Either when we were selling fish, I used to skip school occasionally to carry fish for her to take to the market, or sit next to the cooking pot. The wisdom she gave me at that time had nothing to be that you have gone to school. Every parent is intelligent. They must engage their children, whether they like it or not, because that's why the children are behaving the way they are behaving now. Who told you you are just supposed to produce a child, then you're allowed to go to school? So I'm going to encourage the parents. The wisdom is in the brain. It is not in the school. And by the way, if you take time, the parents will enjoy interacting with you. Nobody is saying they should do their they should do your homework, but take their inputs. Are you saying the people who are saying, oh, the parents should not be engaged, they are using cost to run away from it? Which cost? Which cost? If you are supposed to create a scarecrow in my village, you go to the banana plantation and cut a banana leaf and anything else. You create a hat. But if you are in Nairobi here, you will do what the other lady was talking about. Who is more intelligent? This one that has created from European things or the other one? The creativity is the same. You may even find the one in the village is better. So, honorable ladies and gentlemen, we don't mind engagement, but don't come with a prefixed mind. You are saying, oh, somebody goes and says, you know, CBC must go because it never passed through parliament. My most humble self, flanked by Dr. Belio Kipsang, flanked by other senior officers in government, we went to parliament and presented a document which was debated, amended, and has been printed. My challenge to you, because you are also scholars, please check the facts you are being given. Before you call me to your station, I would like, when I come to your station, you are the one to defend me. Because you can't portray me as an idiot when I am not one. I'm not one. So the person, I want to engage with somebody of my caliber. Not somebody who will be saying lies, and for the public will think that is the intelligent one. The session of paper that we did in 2019 is public knowledge. Well, why should educated people say that this CBC never went to parliament? And then they seem to be even more eloquent than the people that they are arguing with. So the public thinks, oh, this one, somebody mad. And since I'm a Surambaya, they might even think that I'm the one who started the CBC. I just came and found it. So for the avoidance of doubt, we are going to ensure that CBC is here to stay. The final one, which is on Professor Chege's head, the issue of transition. I am not at liberty to give you all the facts, but I want you to trust me that we are doing everything possible to ensure that even though we shall not be in government, we shall have ensured that there shall be a smooth transition, because everybody has a stake in this. Nobody will allow us to do anything otherwise. We're in the process of identifying the schools. We are going to improve our communication network. In fact, I'm going to instruct Professor Chege to get a team that maybe every 2 weeks we inform you instead of you coming back to inform us. And when we go to engage on TV, we should be engaging on an equal basis, not on propaganda basis. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this session. I want to invite Madam Jacqueline Onyango, the Senior Deputy Director of Curriculum Development at the KICD, to say a closing prayer. Asanteni sana.
I'm down, mine is a humble duty. Allow me that before I say the prayer, just to thank each and every one of us, the members of the Editors Guild, led by their president, Madam Zubeida Koome, the whole team, for bringing us here today.
Sorry, it's not like me, but on the issue of the task force report, I want to emphasize that this task force report is with the government printer and Dr. Juan. I'm now directing you that within, is it 1 or 2 weeks? 1 week. 1 week, you shall print 1,000 copies and ensure that you distribute it to all the members of the guild, because all other task forces prior to this one have been printed. I don't want a story anymore. Are we together on this one? All right.